Ladies and gentlemen, chers amis auditeurs, bienvenue. Welcome to the Chat with Pat number 16, le numéro 16. I hope everything is good with you. J'espère que tout va bien pour vous. Actuellement, c'est le soir. Et oui, 18 heures, c'est très rare, mais que voulez-vous? On a un invité qui nous vient du Japon. Today, we're having a very nice guest coming directly from Japan. He's a Canadian friend of us. He was a national team member. And today, he's got a long title. He's International Federation Service Manager for Olympic and Paralympic Judo, Tokyo 2020, and Chief of International Department at All Japan Judo Federation. So let's get in the show with us, our friend, Justin Fumiya Imagawa. Justin, welcome to Chat with Pat.
Ohayo gozaimasu. That means good morning from Japan.
It's a great pleasure and an honor to have you with us at the Chat with Pat. And I know we can tell, for you, it's light. It's very nice. It's morning for you. You just had your coffee. And for me, you can tell it's night. It's dark. So I would try to do my interview without my glasses sometimes because it's too much of a reflection and stuff like that. So I'll try to read. I'm getting old. For me, I'm sorry. So how's everything for you? How does it look like this morning in beautiful Tokyo, Japan? Tell me.
It's very sunny today, and the weather in Tokyo is much friendlier than Montreal. It doesn't snow here, and it's sunny every day in the winter. So it's probably a lot nicer than Montreal right now.
Yes. So are you telling us that we have snow in Montreal just like that we have in the screen right now? Is that what you're telling us? Eh? Yes, we're sending you the snow.
I haven't seen snow here in the last 8 years I've lived here. So it's barely
we can send it to you if you want. We can send it to you if you want.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not missing the wet
socks. Listen, first question. How is the family?
Great. So I have a son he's 4 years old. He just turned 4 earlier this month. And
Yes.
Yeah. You can show pictures. Yeah.
Yes, of course I can show pictures. I'm controlling everything for me.
Okay. Yeah. My wife and good family. We have a house in Tokyo now. Yeah, life is good in general. But the COVID in Tokyo isn't so bad compared to like Europe and USA. But we've had a little bit of difficulty, but we're managing it good in Japan.
Super. And how is it being, because, as we can tell, I think your wife is one of the national coach for a women team in Japan. Mm-hmm. Your son does, I guess, a little bit of judo at 4 years old. Is he fighting with a Christmas tree? I saw the Christmas tree. Was he fighting with it? No, a little bit? Yes. So how is it being into a judo family? Everybody does judo.
Yeah. So as you said, my wife is a coach for the Japanese senior team for the lightweights, 48 and 52. So athletes like Abe Uta and Tonaki Funa at the Olympic Games. And I also work in judo at the Olympic Committee and the National Federation. So we work at judo, but also when we're at home over dinner, we just talk about judo as well. So judo and our lives are inseparable. And I don't know. And all our friends are in judo, and so everything is about judo in our lives. And I don't really get tired.
So you're like a fish in the bowl.
No. Yeah, fish in a bowl, for sure. And, my son, he's not in the dojo yet, but we have a gi for him, and we wrestle around in the living room right now. And I hope my son likes judo just as much as we do.
Well, you know what? By experience, enjoy now that you have the control since he's 4 years old, because when he'll be 11 or 12 or 13, you're going down and he'll be going like this. So you will suffer, my friend. I tell you, you will suffer. So enjoy it now that you can do some wrestling with him and stuff like that, because soon you will ask to stop it, I'm sure.
Yes, so then I'll have to ask some of the young boys at the judo club to show him a lesson. So he'll come home tired.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't go in that path, because you still get older and older and older, so he might, pick on you after that. Anyway, what I was saying, you're born in Canada?
Yes.
Well, you were born in Canada. You're from, so you're British Columbia, and you started your judo in Steveston Judo Club. Where did you start your judo?
Yes, I started judo at the Steveston Judo Club. I think I was 8 or 9 years old. So yeah, I started in Steveston, and I was really lucky. I made a lot of good friends at a really young age at Steveston Judo Club, and that's what I really think made me continue judo for this long.
And so, if you had to resume your path, you were at Steveston, then you came at a certain time to the NTC. At the time, it was Shidokan. And how was that evolution for you?
Yeah, so I moved to Montreal after graduating high school. So I was 18 years old, and I knew that I really wanted to go to the World Championships or the Olympics. It was my dream. So I knew I needed to move to the Shidokan to be with Sensei and Nakamura Sensei and Nico. So I moved there when I was 18, and it was a life-changing experience, being at the dojo with like all the best judoka and being 18 years old and very immature. I learned a lot. And Sensei and Nico were like really good coaches, but they were also coaches outside of the dojo too in life. So they taught me a lot. And the Shidokan is like great memories of like the piggy and the weight room and the
yes, piggy.
We have some good experiences playing piggy together too. I'm sure you remember.
Of course I do. Well, we had a lot of fun, and actually, I think that
still from that.
Yes, it's a path I didn't want to talk about, but I think we had more injuries at piggy than we had in judo. So anyhow,
it was not very smart.
True. So it got better. How did that help you as the man you're today to go through? You said you were influenced, by Sensei and Nico, and by the oldest. But how did it help you today?
I think there's like the judo aspect of like learning to work hard and that part, but also just living alone, away from your parents, and like learning to be an adult. Like from the life skills like cooking and doing your laundry and cleaning, and also like managing your time and of course your money. And these are kind of things that I was fortunate to learn at the age of 18 rather than 28 or 30 or my age. If I started doing that right now, there's no way I would be productive at my job. So learning to be an adult living at home, 3 time zones away was a great experience in that way.
Lots of traveling, lots of friends. Yeah. And I remember, we had such good times and good initiative. But I remember one of them, at that time, I don't know if you're still, but, I can tell at that time you were pretty cut, it's pretty, that was the national team, and it was for a calendar. So tell us, how come, are you still like this?
No. I still try to work out at least 2 or 3 times a week, but I'm not doing randori like that time. And this is
oh yeah, you can see abs.
Fraser and Sasha and Nick and Mike, Sergio. Yeah.
Good souvenirs,
I'm not like that anymore. And
I'm sure you're still fit. I've seen you in the suit, around during those tournaments, and you don't need to change the suit. You look good. Many of us today, we don't fit in our suit anymore. We have to change to get some changes.
I'm born in Canada, but both my parents are Japanese, so I have Japanese genetics. I could eat anything and not get so big right now because I'm 34 now. hopefully it stays that way.
Well. Maybe you can send us the trick, of that thing, so we can stay slim. Because I don't think I have Japanese family on my side. I still it's getting there. Listen, with the evolution, you moved to Japan. So how was your transition?
So yeah, I think I moved to Japan in 2013, and at that
And
time,
why did you move to Japan?
I moved to Japan because I was a carded athlete for 4 years, and in 2013 I couldn't make the results make uh, to make a new carding for the next year, and I was 26 or 25 or 26 at the time, and I thought it was like very difficult for me to continue for another 4 years without carding, and try to make the Olympic Games in Rio. So I just chose. Okay, I need to work on my professional life. So I stopped competing in judo and I moved to Japan, and I tried to find a good job to set up my career. And it was really difficult at the time because I was still young and I love judo. I love doing randori. I love traveling, but I think I made the right decision at the time.
Looking back, no, you worked at a corporation, if my memory is good.
Yes, I worked at Rakuten. It's probably the biggest internet company in Japan, and they're sponsoring huge sports teams like Golden State Warriors and Real Madrid. And yeah, I barely spoke Japanese at the time, and I had zero business experience. I had uchikomi experience, but no experience in the business world. And yeah, it was really difficult at the time. I was constantly texting Antoine like, "Oh man, judo is so much better than this business life." But after 2 or 3 years, I got used to it, and I really learned to like that job.
I'm sure the fact that previously you said that being at Shidokan learned you to go forward and hard work and everything of that, and probably this helped you to stay and maintain stay in Japan, work even though you didn't speak so well Japanese at the time. I'm sure a little bit of that path of learning from our great Sensei Nakamura, and maybe helped you today.
Yeah, no, no doubt. I think even when I was learning Japanese or making business phone calls, I think like the fundamental aspects of judo, or not fundamental aspect of life in general, just being dedicated, working hard every day, being a nice guy could take a really long way. And this is what judo and all taught me for sure.
Well, being a nice guy, hey, you were always nice. You were a gentleman, Fumi. I remember that. Listen, hold on. I gotta wear my glasses again and make sure I'm reading properly. You were. Oh yes, that's an interesting question. How did it feel to work outside of judo?
I think when I was an athlete, well, I was young at the time. I was 25, 26, and all I did was think about judo. I would think about what I would eat before judo. I'd be watching YouTube judo videos, and then I would be traveling, and I'd have these big dreams with a good group of friends, And in a way, I thought I had a real tunnel vision, like just judo. I thought like there's nothing else in the world outside of judo. And stepping outside of judo and making friends and colleagues who knew nothing about judo at all. And I had to talk about them, about topics like not related to sport, really made like my perspective wider. And like I learned that, there's more to life than sport and judo. And there's so many people working hard in their own special professions and in their careers. And it made me have a wider perspective on life in general.
And I'm sure it helps today because getting back to the wheel, you went outside of judo, and why today you're working like fully judo, just like we said previously. So why did you decide to work for All Japan Judo Federation after being there?
Mm-hmm.
And then was it opportunity? How did it happen?
Yeah, I had a lot of reasons. Probably the biggest reason was because even when I was working at my company, I was hanging out with people who didn't do judo, but I was still watching the live stream of judo every day, and watching the Worlds and Olympics at 2 a.m. and yeah, so I still love judo, and it was
Passion.
not separated in my life. So the passion aspect was huge. And the second aspect was, I'm not sure if you remember him, or I'm sure you remember him, Akinori. He was living
course.
Of course, we all remember Akinori, Sensei Akinori.
Of course.
So for the people who don't know Akinori, he was living with Antoine Bellafortier leading up to the Olympic Games in London. And he's from Japan, obviously. And we were good friends. We go back over 10 years. And when he moved back to Japan, he started working at the All Japan Judo Federation. And he's currently the assistant to Mr. Yamashita, who is president of the federation. And he invited me because Japan, or the AJJF at the time, was getting ready to organize the 2019 World Championships, and at the time, the 2020 Olympic Games. And there are very few people in Japan who could speak English and Japanese and who have like a good understanding of judo. And that was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up on. So I like my job at Rectem, but I'm glad I came here.
So it was destiny, you went through a path, you went outside, you didn't know why you went outside. And after that, it makes 100% sense of everything you've done. And to work, like you say, your title is to be responsible for international representation and connection, So you're open-minded. You're not just tunnel vision, judo, because judo is way more than just what is on the mat. It's what's outside the mat. Mm-hmm. So, interesting.
For sure. I think Japanese people, it's like an island as well. So, and there's not many people living in Japan who aren't Japanese. And if you go to Montreal, there's like a Japanese person, a Chinese person, a Haitian person, and it's very multicultural. So it's a very monoculture here. So there's not many people with that international mindset, and people who live abroad. And I think that's what makes me like my job, because I have a different perspective than other people in general.
True. And how do you feel to be where you are today?
Like I said, I'm really happy, and I'm happy. There's a huge sense of responsibility, World Championships or Olympic Games. Like, this is like every judo fan and soon to be judo fans platform. And
we'll be watching.
Everybody's watching, and if we don't do a good job, it's a negative for judo in general. So I have that big sense of responsibility, but also the thrill that comes with it. And I really enjoy that thrilling aspect as well. And, through you learn a lot, I'm working with the Grand Slams and the Olympics and the World Championships, but also with like the, memberships or marketing and content creating. And I've had a good chance to meet a lot of good colleagues from inside Japan and from outside, of course, with my Canadian family, and also like the IJF and Asia and Europe. This is what I really enjoy.
Well, like you said, your family must be very proud of you, but I'm going to say it loud, in front of everybody on the Chat with Pat. But we're very proud of you, Fumi, and we're very happy to see where you are. And, when people say, oh, our organizers, Tokyo, we say, well, yeah, of course, there's a Canadian there, and it's our buddy, it's our friend. So we're very proud of you, Fumi.
I will let you
know. Did you think... Well, maybe you did, but, did you think that judo would play such a big part in your life?
When I started judo when I was 9 years old, definitely not. Definitely. I didn't think that the first day I walked into the dojo, I would be continuing it for this long, and I'm sure I'll continue it until I die. So for sure, I didn't expect it to be that big part of my life, for sure.
That was a big entry, eh? At 9 years old, you're just like,
Yeah,
oh, I get to judo, it's gonna be fun, and still
my
there.
parents thinking like maybe we'll just take him to judo one time, and see if he likes it. And then to this point, and the future, not at all.
Incredible,
Yeah.
incredible. What is the greatest gift judo has given you?
In Japan, they say there's like an idiom. They say like judo is like the school of life. So of course through judo you learn how to throw people and do arm locks and do osaikomi. But before that, it teaches you how to be like successful and happy in life in general. Just the simple, basic things of working hard, being humble, being dedicated over a long period of time could take you a really long way. So I think that's what judo kind of teaches you. And sometimes in not a very nice way. It could be very cruel, but yeah, I think that's what it teaches you.
What do you value most about judo?
I think I already said it before, but I think it's more like the judo family. Of course, the judo family in Canada, the judo family as in like the people, you go to any dojo and you're automatically friends because you share the same passion, which is judo. And through judo, I met my wife, I met my best friends, and the IJF, and yeah. So just that whole family aspect, that's what I value most.
I'm gonna put a nice picture of you when you were very young and strong and like the picture we saw before, very cut and like
my look how skinny my neck is.
What is your most memorable moment? Don't show it. Don't show it. What is your most memorable moment as Canadian judoka?
For sure, watching and supporting Antoine Valar-Fortier winning the bronze medal at the London Olympic Games. That's probably one of the happiest, or probably is one of the happiest moments and days of my life. I was in London as his training partner, and it was a great memory. I still sometimes watch the video, it was.
I should have get that picture. We made a poster, and I think we see everybody's like like this yelling on the picture.
Yeah, it was. I remember that.
I should have got that.
I remember that day like so clearly, from the first fight with Elner Mamadi, Olympic champion, to the last fight with Travis. It was like, whoa, what's going to happen? And then, not a lot of people expected him to medal, and I think that was a big turning point for judo in Canada. And to be a part of that was a great memory for me.
A great memory.
Yeah.
Listen, before we start talking more seriously, about some an event like this, like Olympic Games and stuff like that, if you could have a superpower, if you could, could be a superhero, what would it be?
Superhero?
What would be your superpower? Yeah.
Probably erase COVID. Erase COVID from planet Earth would be a pretty good superpower right now. That would help everybody, not just judokas. But
you would be.
I'd be the best superhero.
True. That's a good one. You from today, you would become, like you would be around the world on a statue, a statue of Fumiya everywhere around the world. It would be like, ooh, true. I will take that. That's a good one. Good one. Listen, before we start asking those questions where you're going to have to answer seriously, it's the Team Olympic Games and more. We're starting to talk. You're as the chief of international department for All Japan Federation. You've traveled to many different countries, and you need to interact with many people from different culture. We talked about that previously. Have you experienced or discovered any interesting cultural I have a problem with that word, cultural customs?
Yes. So my current role at AJJF, I work as the international. So I travel not only with the national team, but with officials, mainly throughout Asia, but also the IJF tour as well. And when I go to all those countries, like countries I didn't imagine I like plan on visiting. I went to Saudi Arabia last year. I never thought I'd go to Saudi Arabia, or these small cities in Kazakhstan or Mongolia. And what I learned the most is that judo is like a very international sport, and you go there and you go into the dojo or the tournament, and there's still the Japanese aspect, people bowing, and there's still the picture of Kanojiro. But judo's taking its own special role in each respective culture. And judo's evolved in each of their cultures. And that's what I really like seeing. If you go to Russia, there's like judo and sambo is kind of mixed. And if you go to Canada or USA, it's kind of like wrestling and jiu-jitsu. But it's all integrated into one judo. So judo is kind of like a melting pot of cultures. And that's what I learned through traveling through all these countries.
Interesting. Interesting. What motivated you? Well, you already said that you got brought by Akinori, to work for. But what motivated you to work with the Olympic and Paralympics for now?
I think as judoka, we could all say that we have like these vivid memories of the Olympics. And for mine, when I think I was 12 or 13 years old, I was watching Nicholas Gill win silver medal at the Sydney Olympic Games. And I remember it.
Yeah.
It was like it's over 20 years ago. And I remember Nico.
Yeah, but it was a silver. He was fighting silver. He got silver against what's his name?
Against my boss.
I don't recall. Oh yeah, that's your boss.
My boss now, but anyways, but yeah, we all have these memories from the Olympics and Paralympics, and I think a lot of these memories are what kind of motivated us to continue and stay involved in judo for that long. And I'm sure if I was working in the Olympic Games in Tokyo with judo, I'm sure that like everybody will be watching, and a lot of people will be interested and stay interested in judo because of this event. And I was confident that I could make a good contribution at this event. So it was natural for me to say like, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, you said that it's your boss today. I'm just wondering which one, because one is mine, so I guess the other one is yours, right?
Yes. Kosei Inoue Sensei is the head coach of the national team now, and I'm not working so closely with the national team, but we talk here and there, and we share information, and we're colleagues. He's a very charismatic.
Were you trying to? Yeah, were you trying to separate them at this meeting? I think that was in Baku. You were trying to separate these two.
So maybe we should have another fight off. But I'm not so sure how good Nico is now.
We've made fun of this one, and we already said, sometime we said, we should have a rematch between you and Sensei Inoue, and Nico is like, no, he runs every day, he's in super shape, and well, Nico, so no, he said no. He said no. He said, I'm not a masochist. So I guess it will be in our memories.
We have to do
it. Well, maybe we'll do something on skates. maybe they could do something, but with
Yeah.
skates, skating or something. So we give a chance to Nico. And
Yes. On the snow.
so it'll be, yeah, on the snow or something like that. Listen, after the 2019 World Championship in Tokyo, that were very well organized, by the way, because I attended this event and it was a great moment and very nicely done. We were heading towards Olympic Games, and you were already on the planning mode for Olympic Games. I remember, I saw some things, you already showed me some stuff that were coming up, and then I was all excited, With the actual situation, what are some of the challenges that you actually face as service manager for the Olympic Games?
Well, as you can imagine, like hosting an Olympic Games and Paralympic Games with no pandemic is very challenging in general, just because of the magnitude. Like the World Championships in Tokyo in 2019 was crazy. It was crazy, but doing something like the Olympics with 140, or in judo, 140 countries are going to participate, and the broadcasting, and then the sport aspect, and then the training venue, and the logistics, and everything is it's hectic. And if you throw COVID into there, it makes things so much more difficult. But under these circumstances, I'm very confident that we will have the Olympics and Paralympics in a safe way. The Japanese government, the Japanese leadership, and I think the world needs sport in general. So I hope at my layer, I can't say, okay, do the Olympics, but I'm going to do everything I can for the judo event for it to be realized. And as you know, I think the Japanese people in general are very perfectionists. They think about like the small, tiny details. And I think at the World Championships in 2019, we paid attention to the big details and the small details, and we were able to deliver.
Yes.
And for the Olympics, we'll do the same. We have the best volunteers and everything, so I'm confident.
Wow, you already answered some of my question because you went ahead of everything. But what you're saying is you're ready to welcome the world in whatsoever situation.
Not in whatsoever situation, but in every responsible situation, in every safe situation, and in every situation that's going to be correct for judo. And as you know, judo is the home. Judo originated in Japan, so we have great leaders in judo in Japan. For example,
Yes.
Mr. Yamashita is the president of the All Japan Judo Federation. He's president of the Japanese Olympic Committee, and he's an IOC member. And he's not only a big supporter of judo, but Japanese sport in general. And he's a very great leader. So having his support is immense for somebody like me. And then we have Mr. Yamada Toshihiko. He's the sport manager of judo. He's my boss at the organizing committee. And he's a great leader as well, with great connections, great skills. And I said this before, but Japan hosts the Grand Slam every year. We hosted the World Championships. We hosted the test event, which was the World Championships. And of course, we have so many great judokas and the best referees, timekeepers, technical officials who know exactly how to do their job at the perfect timing with a great responsibility. And then we have the best, I said it before, but the volunteers as well. They're very smart, very dedicated, and they're judokas. So they're all in for the judo event. And on top of this, we have, of course, the great national federations such as Judo Canada joining in and helping. And also the IJF. They always get us through they're the most experienced in almost every aspect, so they get us through everything. So having their support and is with all this put together and the passion aspect, I'm very confident that everything will be okay.
Well, you talked about the volunteers. I just want to say, the person in charge of transportation. Yeah, there's a man is always there taking care of all the buses, and that man should have a statue or something because he is incredible. He
Yeah.
fixes everything. His buses are on time at the second. Uh, this man is a pearl. He's like the greatest of all,
Yeah.
and I'm sure a lot of people knows him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's at transportation, and he doesn't get to see the tournament. He doesn't get to. He's always running the buses and stuff. But this gentleman, maybe we could steal it from you.
He's his name is Uemura-san, and he's a great guy, super professional, just like like Kosei Inoue practices Uchimata. This guy practices his bus
coordination of buses,
making the bus come into the hotel at the exact time and opening it so the athletes could put their suitcase in. He takes his job just as seriously as a Olympic athlete. And
well,
people
you
in
can
Japan.
tell we know him.
Yeah. And
you can pass him the message. You tell him the message. He's on the Chat with Pat, internationally known as Mr. Transportation. He is Mr. Transportation.
Yeah. So we have so many passionate people like that who are all in, and they're involved just because they want to be a part of the success. And with that sort of team and that sort of reliability across all the parties, that's the reason why I'm confident through all these challenges that we'll be able to deliver.
We're going to cross our fingers, and we're excited. We're getting ready. Fumi, we're coming. Being on the IGF competition circuit, do you have, it's just going to stay between you and us, nobody will know about it, Do you have any favorite athlete that you enjoy watching compete? And don't say it loud. You can say it like very quietly. Nobody will know.
Of course, Canadian. I'm a Canadian. I'm a big supporter, and I love Canadian judo. So, of course, when I'm on the tour, I love watching Antoine, Jessica, Krista, Arthur, Etienne, Shadi, all these guys. Like, I'm always cheering for them and hoping for the best for them. And when they win, and when I hear the Canadian national anthem at the awarding ceremony, like there's like a part of me, wow, it's nice.
Happy, eh?
Happy. But also, there's so many good judo players from so many countries now, and from Japan, I would say I like Masashi Ebinuma, Arai Chizuru, like these people, like I watch them train at training camps, and of course, like their level of dedication and what they had to do to get to that stage, like the people that the Canadians see on the World Judo Tour from Japan, they're just like the film. There's like a huge pyramid of good judo players in Japan. Like I'm sure everybody could imagine it, but coming to Japan and seeing the qualification tournaments, it's incredible. There's so many good judo players here, and the cream of the cream, like the Olympic and world people from Japan, they're incredible.
Well, we'll find a way. Canadian have tricks, we'll find ways, to get through these. I'm sure.
Cheering for both.
We're ready. We're gonna be ready. If you could change or improve any aspect of judo, what would it be?
I'm not so sure about what.
Or maybe I can finish the sentence by saying, how would you like to see judo progress in the future?
Well, like I said before, judo is a really international sport. It's so I'd like to see like many other countries, like national federations develop just like Judo Canada. I think Judo Canada has changed so much since I've left. I left in 2013 and it was evolving so quickly, you know? And for that evolution to happen, it's just one little like match to light the fire. And I think that was Antoine winning bronze at the London Olympic Games. And I think so many federations and so many areas are just, you know, the campfire is there and the match just needs to strike for it to explode. And I want judo to, you know, be huge in other countries like it is in Japan, in Canada, in France, in Russia. And that's what I really look forward to. And yeah, I hope there'll be more teams competing at the mixed team event at the Olympic Games next year. I think at
that would be interesting. That would be interesting, eh?
I think at Tokyo we'll have, including Canada, like 8 or 9 teams, maybe 10, hopefully more. And I hope in the next 4 years' time we could have 16, 18, 20, you know. And that would really mean that like judo's spreading and it's, you know.
But I agree. It's that part of the team tournament. It's gonna because Canada is very attracted by teams, you know, and in the States as well. It's very important, the team concept. More than individuals sometimes, and so I'm sure that the team part for judo, and you know, could make a difference and could, you know, attract some people to be interested in you know, practicing. Well, right now it's complicated, you know. We got to practice at home, but anyway, what do you want? Well, that brings me to my last question before the game, where you should be stressed, and you said to me before, no, I'm not stressed, I'm in control during this pause, because it's a forced pause that we have. What have you missed the most about judo?
Since COVID, you mean?
Yes, unfortunately, since COVID.
I think I miss doing judo. I haven't worn a judo and done randori in over a year. And you know, I started judo when I was 9, and I did judo at least 3 times a week since that time. And even when I was in Japan and working outside of judo, I was still doing judo once or twice a week to stay sane and stay in shape. But because of COVID, I haven't been on the mats, and I miss wearing a judo gi and, you know, getting the real sweat. You know, right now I'm going for a run or, you know, doing some weights, but there's no real sweat like there was a randori or like somebody overhead gripping you. And I really miss doing judo. So once COVID's better and I'm vaccinated and everybody's vaccinated and everything's better, I want to get back on the mats and maybe go for another competition just for fun. Maybe the veterans or something.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see that. I'm going to ask Nico to be sent to that tournament. I want to cover it. Well, you're just 34. You said you're 34 years old, so it won't hurt that much 1 year. But, you know, for example, me, that I've reached a venerable age, you know, I missed 1 year of wearing a gi and doing a match. If I would do just half hour of judo, I think for 1 week I wouldn't be able to walk or to, you know, I would be like, hey, I'm in pain. So maybe you'll suffer a little bit. You know, you're 34, you're getting there.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, I want to get back in the dojo and for fun. You know, no like crazy training. You know, train and then go for a beer with some good friends, and yeah, that's what I miss the most.
Well, you might need 2 or 3 to forget that you've done an hour of judo previously, you know. Okay, Fumi, let's get ready. We're getting there to the team number 2, which is the game. And the game is, do you know your Japanese judo? And if all your friends in Japan are watching and you missed that, let me tell you, I think they say, is it, how do you say, maybe, can I say that? Azgashine? Azgashi? You're going to be like,
How embarrassing.
yes, guys.
Or they
Yeah.
say, kubi. Kubi means neck. So kubi.
You're going to be like, all right. I'll give you, if you need, you can ask, for, how do you say that? A hint or just a little cue or something to help, but let's see. I'm ready. I'm wearing the glasses.
Well, I'm not going to Google it.
Fumi.
So my hands are up here, okay?
Okay. Hey, come on. If you start down, no way. Cool. All right. Question 1. For 8 years, from 1977 to 1985, he had 203 victories in a row with 164 ippon. Who am I?
Mr. Yamashita. Mr. Yasuhiro Yamashita. My boss. If I got that one wrong, I would be sent back to Montreal on the next rowboat.
That's why I was like, I hope he's not gonna miss.
Okay.
It's okay. You passed the first test. You're good. All right. Question 2. I have 3 Olympic title: 1996, 2000, 2004. Who am I?
Tadahiro Nomura, 60 kilos.
Pretty good. I'm impressed.
Papa, I thought you were going to challenge me, man.
I can challenge, but after that, you can call me and say, I got fired. I'm going to be like, oh, sorry for me.
One thing about Nomura, with Mr. Nomura, who just came up, I work with him here and there, and he's working in judo now, and he's managing the Abe siblings, Abe Uta and Abe Hifumi, and he's a great guy, very well-spoken. He's like a professional TV reporter, and he's a very smart guy.
Yeah, we've seen him on TV a lot.
He's doing great things for judo in Japan and the world, for sure. Yeah.
Super. Well, question 3 is a little bit trickier. You said you wanted to have something harder. It could be a little bit trickier. We'll see. I am a double gold medalist at Olympic Games and 7-time world champion. Ooh, do you need a hint?
Oh, wait. He's not Japanese, right? Is he Japanese?
Did I say, I'm going to give you a hint. Did I say he is?
He.
No, I didn't say he. I said, I am double gold medalist at Olympic Games and 7-time world champion.
Yes.
Who am I?
Ryoko Tani, or Tani Ryoko. Yeah. Minus 48 kilos, right?
Yes, Fumi, you got it.
Yeah.
See, yes, but is he a he? If I wouldn't have said nothing, you'd be like, "Oh my!"
I was like thinking, I'm like, oh, is it Teddy Reader? Like, is he? It's not Japanese. What's that?
No. I said, "Do you know your Japanese judo?"
Yeah, it's Japanese.
Well, Fumi, 100%. Congratulations, you did it.
Thank you.
Well. Yeah, no problem. You can send me the check. Team number 3 and the last one, and this is the last question. Okay. Normally, I always ask a wisdom question to my guest. With your little experience, do you have any advice for those having the dream to work in another country?
Yes. I think. Wait, let me think of it. Yeah. Well, I'm Canadian. I lived in Canada for 26 years, and I moved to Japan. And Japan's a really different country in terms of the language, the culture, the language, the food, the traditions. So, what was difficult for me, and what I really tried hard, was to learn the local culture. And I was lucky because my parents were Japanese, so I had a general idea. So when I mean culture, I mean like the language, the traditions, the food. And if you can learn that part really quickly, and then kind of take in the parts that you like, and then don't take in the parts you don't like. But once you're able to like put that culture and make it a part of you, it's the quickest way to make good friends and succeed at your job, and you know, and you know, gaining like the general perspective and making your perspective wider with the locals. And then if you're able to do that, the rest is easy because you have the community, you have the friends, you'll develop the skills, and then you have all the ingredients for success. So my advice is to learn the culture very quickly.
Excellent. And after that, maybe you start a family.
Yes,
And maybe
marry a local lady. Yes.
and then that's it. You're there forever, or maybe you come back with a little 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 munchkins.
Who knows?
Never know.
One day. I always talk about this with my wife, and one day we hope that we can move back to Canada, so she could have that same experience that I am, and for my kid as well. I'm trying to speak English to my kid, so he could one day, live in Montreal or Vancouver or Canada in general. So I hope I'll be back in Canada one day.
Well, we hope to see you soon, and then when you'll come back and with your son, then Grandpa Pat will talk to him in French and learn him some nice French words to be able to speak. Bien sûr. Yes, my friend. Yes, my friend. I will be there. Well, Justin, it was very kind, very nice of you for being with us, and we're very, very happy that everything goes well for you. We're proud of you, and we thank you so much for being with us at the Chat with Pat. It was very interesting.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Pat. I'm really happy, and I really want to reconnect with the Canadian judo family. I haven't seen a lot of you for a really long time, and I hope that COVID's ends soon. And if I won't see you at the Olympics, I'll see you back after it's over when I come visit with my family.
Well, my friend, if everything goes to plan and according to what we hope, we will see each other in Tokyo for the Olympic Games, and we'll take a little snap picture and we'll post it on our social media to tell all our friends in Canada that everything goes well, and as planned, everything goes well.
No, full confidence.
Super. All right, Fumi, we thank you so much. Folks, I always say the same to all Judo Canada. We say, folks, stay safe, and may Judo be back again soon. So, Fumi, again, thank you so much for everything. We talk to you soon another day. And next Chat with Pat, please watch our social media, and everything will be reposted on our Daily Motion account. Thank you so much, Fumi. Take care.
Arigato. Thank you.